Thank you all so much for coming. Welcome to the At-Large Town Hall. At-Large covers every district, not just a specific district, but every district, A, B, C, and D. Most of you all are familiar with me. I'm Ramona Smith, the Community Engagement Coordinator, formerly known as the HOA Liaison. Thank you all for coming. Good to see you all. I saw Ms. Thomasine. How you doing with the Farmers Market Partners? Good to see you. I see you guys have visited some of the resource tables in the back. After the meeting adjourns, you'll be able to go back and visit the other resource tables. Missouri City Green is here. Hi, Missouri City Green. GFL is here. Hi, GFL. The Missouri City Fort Bend County Library is back there. Of course, we have Parks and Rec. We have Code Enforcement, PD, and Fire. And I do believe the Small Business Advisory is back there, yes? Hey, Ms. Danita. Good to see you. So make sure you stop and get the resources that they have. They always have amazing things that let you know what's going on in the city. I heard someone's alarm go off. I hope it wasn't mine. So please make sure your noise-making devices are turned to silent. Your cell phones, beepers, pagers, anything that makes noise, please turn it to silent mode. And if you have a question, we're moving to the QR codes. You can just scan the QR code. NYC volunteers, can you raise your hand? If you have any issues with the QR code, the NYC volunteers can take your phone, get you to the actual website so that you can type in your question. There's a QR code at the sign-in table, and there's also one on the back row to my right. So if you want to ask a question, please make sure you scan that QR code and get your question in. And we're going to do the Q&A a little bit different this time. We're going to be able to ask the presenters questions after each presentation. So we're not going to have to wait until the end. We're going to be able to ask them questions after they present. So if you have any burning questions, please scan that QR code. As always, in the event of an emergency, please use those exit doors in the back or this exit door to the right. And the restrooms are going to be out this door to my left, and then you just make a right. There's also bottled water. It's pretty warm outside, so if you need water, the water's going to be at this table. NYC volunteers at the water table, can you raise your hand? That's you, Elizabeth Kennedy. Thank you. It's water over there by that table if you need some. I think I covered everything. So welcome. If you don't know someone sitting next to you, make sure you say hi to them. We don't have any strangers. We are all neighbors. We are all kind to each other. And without further ado, I would like to go to the next slide so that we can get our social media up there. Yes, if you are not following us on social media, our communications department is amazing at making sure everything is always updated on Facebook, new videos on YouTube, updates on Twitter and Instagram. So if you are not following us on social media, please follow us at Missouri City TX across all those platforms. Thank you so much for that. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our council members, our at-large council members. Hello, somebody. At-large position number 2 council member has over 25 years of professional experience in sales and marketing in the healthcare industry, but has a sure footing with municipal government. She grew up in Fort Bend County and has been a Missouri City resident for 18 years. That experience, coupled with her fierce tenacity, gives this councilwoman a laser-focused approach to serving the needs of Missouri City's residents and stakeholders. Councilwoman Clouser has civil service flowing through her veins. At-large position number 2 councilwoman stands on her commitment to building unity, not by accepting the status quo, but by pushing the envelope. Also, she's no stranger to the spotlight or hard work. I would like to present your at-large position number 2 councilwoman, Lynn Clouser. At-large position number 1 council member has a professional career that spans over 30 years and includes a multitude of achievements and strategic initiatives that involve budgeting and project management. Her leadership alone is a testament to how she utilizes her experience and passion to accomplish a myriad of tasks. Most of her life as a resident has been dedicated to seeing Missouri City's continued and successful growth. Her promise to the city of Missouri City is to advocate for citizens and to work cohesively with council in finding balanced solutions. No stranger to hard work, I present the council member with 3 names. At-large position number 1, Councilwoman Sonya Brown Marshall. Councilwoman.
Good evening, Councilwoman. Welcome to our podcast.
Yes. So we decided to do things a little different with this town hall. We wanted this to be very informal, but we wanted to make sure we made this about you, the residents. We want to make sure that you had plenty of time to get your questions answered. And so here we are. We're going to bring up our wonderful directors who work so hard each and every day for the city, because our employees are the heartbeat of our city. And we're going to hear from them, and then we're going to rapid fire on y'all with questions. Y'all ready for that? First of all, I want to ask you, Sonya, 6 months you've been in office. Y'all, let's give her a round of applause. How does it feel?
It feels really good. I'm so excited to be working with this group. This council group is awesome, y'all. Over just this last 6 months, we've tackled some very important decisions that we had to make. I'm really proud of the work that we're doing so far. I really and truly am. I'm ready to keep pushing the envelope with this group. So thank you so much, Councilwoman.
Absolutely. So I think we have a few special guests tonight. You want to go ahead and recognize our special guest?
I guess I'll recognize our special guest. Let's start off with our own council members, Mayor Pro Tem Emery.
Not yet. Not yet.
We were just recognizing.
We're just recognizing you.
Back up there.
Yeah.
Back up there.
Now, this man just had knee surgery, and he's trying to get his doctor told him he needed to get in 500 steps, and that was like the last 10 he needed to get in. So we're going to check that off the box. But our Mayor Pro Tem, Floyd Emery, y'all give it up.
Councilmember Maroulis, give us a wave.
District C, the place to be, or is it?
It is sometimes,
it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Councilmember Boney, District B. And
the B stands for Boney.
The B does stand for Boney.
District B.
That's it. And we have our council member, Monica Riley from District A.
Have you come up with a one for A? I love it.
That's really good. That's really, really good. I do believe we have some other elected officials here in the audience with us. I did see County Treasurer, is that right? Bill Rickard.
Yes.
Hi,
yes.
Waving at us in the back. We appreciate you coming out tonight, sir.
Yes. And Virginia Roses, we have City of Stafford. Hello. And then I spot our County Commissioner, Andy Meyer, in the audience. Anyone else that we forgot? Please stand. If you're representing an office, would you please stand? All right, that's it. Thank you all for being here.
All right. So at this time, we're going to do something kind of fun.
Yeah. How many of you have your phones? Well, we know you have your phones. Hold your phones up, because we know they're out. Okay, we're going to do a fun game. How many of y'all like to win prizes? Yeah? All right. So open your phone up. And I already have the Kahoot app on my phone because I play this a lot. But if you have the Kahoot app on your phone, great. If not, can you put scan that.
There you go.
Scan that code. That QR code, yeah. Scan that QR code, put that game pin in, put your name, and we're gonna do some trivia, some Missouri City trivia for a chance to win some prizes. We're gonna see how much our residents and our stakeholders really know.
Okay, y'all ready?
Bruce, make sure you scan that, because we know you know a whole bunch about the city.
Okay, everybody in yet?
Max.
Just about Max. A few more people? Okay, here we go.
Okay, GFL.
Okay. JH, SA, come on, it's more of y'all in here. Join in. Hi, Jackie.
Andy, all right. NYC, is that our Mayor's Youth Council? Okay, NYC.
Hey, Miss Shonda.
Glow, would that be Gloria Clouser? Hey, Mom. Rosas, Lauren, hey, daughter. Rosas, I guess that is Council Member Rosas. All right, it's gonna be some stiff competition.
This is gonna be good.
For these prizes.
It's gonna be good.
Yes. All right, we'll give it a few more seconds.
Place to be. Love it.
Where is that? Let me guess. How many of you have not played Kahoot? Raise your hand if you've not played Kahoot. Okay, this will be fun.
This will be fun. Oh, look at it's really going. All right, couple of more.
Dr. Tanya Jones. Where's Dr. Tanya Jones? Thank you for being here. Ms. Thomasine, I didn't see you up there. Our Missouri City Farmers Market partners. Oh, your favorite. Oh, okay. All right. We ready?
We're just about ready. A few more minutes. Anybody else want to jump on right quick? Okay.
Here we go. We're ready for our first question. And can we have a member of the NYC to come up and grab one of our prizes for whoever is going to win? Okay, go ahead. Question 1.
Here we go. You ready?
Y'all study?
Here we go. Jason, you cannot answer. How many acres of parkland does the city have?
Five. 1,471 acres. All right. Who wins? Oh, the next one? Okay.
One moment. Oh, here we go.
Be Fit.
Who's Be Fit?
All right. Come on down. Let's get your prize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, we got to do 2, right?
Okay. We got one more.
One more.
Get ready. Stretch. How many mayors has the city had?
Come on. Y'all know this one.
Alan Owen? Don't tell everybody the answer.
Okay, here we go.
The answer's 12. JTJ.
JTJ?
Who would that be? Who is that?
Look who's
Oh, that's Jennifer Thomas Gomez. Let's go with the next one, which is Jay Boney.
No.
Be Fit just won. C place to be would be Anthony Maroulis. Lauren is not an elected official or staff member. So Lauren.
Go get your prize.
That would be my daughter. Is she still okay to win? I didn't tell her the answer. Congratulations, Lauren. Yes, we got an umbrella in the family. Yes. All right, that was fun.
It was. Great job. At this time, we really and truly are ready for our Mayor Pro Tem, Emery, to come up and bring us some opening remarks. Woohoo!
All right.
I was going to come up on a wheelchair, but I thought, no, I'll come up, my 2 legs. So welcome. I mean, it's great to have a turnout like we have tonight. I'm sure we'll have a few more stragglers that'll be coming in. But again, it's the opportunity for our citizens to pose some questions to our staff. As you can see, we've got a full array of our staff here. So if they can't answer the questions, they'll find somebody who can. But I'm sure that they'll be able to address all of those items. Okay? Did you hear what I said the first time? Okay. Because I don't remember what I said, so I'd have a hard time going through it again. So, but anyway, this is a great opportunity for our two at-large council ladies to present their outlook and their view of what's going on in Missouri City and in not just in a particular district, but in all of the districts within Missouri City. So, you know, we think we have it tough because we've got just one district that we have to work with, but we've got our two at-large who have to work with all of the different districts and the citizens. So their efforts are probably fourfold from what some of our city district council members are faced with. So with that, is there anything special that we've got?
Whole lot.
Okay. Well, what I want to do is I want to get out of the way so that you can start the process and get the questions. Again, thank you for being here. If, like I say, if you don't get your question answered, look one of us up at the table, at the council table. Or I don't know if we've got a table, but at least we're out here somewhere. But with that, again, thanks again for being here, and have a great evening.
And the mayor sends his regards. He's not feeling well, so the mayor sends his regards.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to jump right on into our program. We've already introduced everybody here on tonight, so we're going to move right on into our study updates. And guess what? We have someone special that's getting ready to come up and talk to you guys, but I want to give you guys a fun fact about Miss Portis.
Yes, so each and every day we get to see our wonderful directors and we get to interact with them, but and many of you do as well. But sometimes, you know, we all have a life outside of the city. And so without getting too deep, I want to give a fun fact on each one of our directors as they come up. Here's a fun fact on Elena. Every year, her birthday is a holiday. Christmas Day. So without further ado, come on up, Christmas baby. Have a seat in the podcast.
Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you. And so thank you. Okay. And so it's not always great having a birthday on Christmas, as you can imagine. You know, sometimes you only get one present instead of two, but it's okay. I get the holiday off. Yeah. Okay, so tonight I have the pleasure of discussing the city's commitment to competitive salaries and benefits. It's essential to recognize that pay is a crucial factor in attracting and retaining talent to the city. Competitive salaries are not only important for the well-being of the employee, but it's also important for the growth and success of the city. And so the city initiated a salary study to determine our competitiveness in the market. This was a 6-month process. It began last calendar year in October, really more around November, and it ended in April. And we actually went to council, and thank you very much for your support with approving changes to the salary. So I'll be going over some of this information tonight. Okay, so a salary study is an effective tool that helps evaluate the city's current compensation packages and compare them to industry standards. And so we take the salaries of all of the employees within the city and we compare them to other jurisdictions, jurisdictions that are within our area, and also some that are what we call our competitors, because we may have lost employees to those jurisdictions. It's an analysis of the salaries and benefits that we offer to our employees in different job roles. And the purpose is to ensure, again, that the organization's compensation package is competitive and it aligns with the current market rates. The study also assists in identifying any gaps in compensation and benefits, and it enables the city to make informed decisions about adjustments and improvements. In addition, the salary study helps to ensure that employees are fairly compensated for their skills, experience, and their contributions to the city. This not only fosters a positive work environment, but also boosts employee morale, productivity, and job satisfaction. Okay, so again, this study, it took place October to April. We do have what we consider to be two classifications of employees. We have civil service, which includes our public safety employees and fire and police, and our non-civil service, which are our other general employees. We were compared against over 20 other jurisdictions. And as you see on the slide, the study showed that our salaries were misaligned with the market. And so for civil service, which includes police and fire, we were 15 to 16% below market. And for our general employees, we were from 14 to 20% below market for many of the positions. Okay, so while completing a salary study is an important first step in ensuring our compensation packages are competitive, it's not a one-time fix. As you can imagine, a lot of our competing jurisdictions are in the process of increasing salaries again. So when we're doing a study, we're comparing against salaries at a fixed time, but they evolve. Let's see. Constantly evolving, and it's crucial to regularly review and adjust the salaries in order to remain competitive. And this is the reason why we're looking at this in a two-phase approach. Okay, and so the first phase was recently adopted, as I mentioned, by City Council on May 7th. For civil service, this included updating the salary ranges to reflect the current market. We also removed overlap in salary ranges between the ranks, so we don't have someone that's a police officer making the same amount as a sergeant. We also placed employees in salary ranges based on their time in position, which addressed some of the compression issues that we had. And for general employees, we did the same as far as updating the salary ranges to reflect the current market at that time and to improve competitiveness. And general employees were placed in the salary range based on class parity, and this was using a 25-year career span. Okay. Now the second phase. Okay. It recognizes that the job market, again, is constantly evolving. And since we completed the study, we have had cities that have increased their salaries again, and we know that there are others that are planning to increase with the fiscal year 2024 budget. For most cities, our budgets are October to September. And so in October, other cities are beginning to increase salaries again, which will throw us off as far as being in the market. So we're going to have to continue to look at our salaries to make sure that we remain competitive. So during the process of formulating the fiscal year 2024 budget, which we're in the process of doing now, and on Saturday we actually have a community engagement budget workshop. I'm not sure if you all were going to announce that, but I'm going to put a plug in right now. Come out on Saturday 10 to 12 to learn more about our budget as far as where all of our revenue comes from, our expenditures, and also assist us with prioritizing some of the budget requests that we have from departments. So that's this Saturday. Come on out again. But we'll be looking at salaries again and ensuring that we remain competitive. We'll also be reviewing our compensation philosophy for general employees to address some of the overlap that we might have in some of the career series. Also, we're going to ensure that our positions are classified in the correct pay band. So just to conclude, I think I only had a few minutes. Again, competitive salaries are essential, okay, for attracting and retaining top talent, and we want that here in the Show Me City. The salary study that we just completed provided valuable insight, but again, it's not a one-time fix. And so we're going to continue to ensure that our salaries and benefits are competitive. And we'll be doing that during this budget process. And so that concludes my presentation.
Well, thank you so much for that presentation. Now, I'm pretty sure the audience may have questions.
No questions?
No questions? We do have one in the back.
We are competitive in our benefits, and in some areas we do provide a little more than other cities. We are in the process of going out to bid, though, for our health insurance packages, which includes our health insurance, our vision, and our dental, and we hope to be able to offer an even better package than what we have now. But again, we have certain amount of money, and so hopefully we get enough bids to come in to be able to continue to provide the best in benefits to our employees. Yes.
Did that answer your question? Did that answer your question?
Okay, awesome. Anyone else got a question? So this was a hot topic that stayed in the news with us a lot. And so everyone was always talking about what's going on with the salaries, what's going on with the police department, what's going on. And so I'm really proud that as a city council, we were able to tackle this and address it and get it taken care of. Ms. Potus, you did a wonderful job. Thank you for sitting in our hot seat.
I see hands up.
We got
some
those
more hands.
hands.
Or are those for the next presenter?
For you.
Been an increase in the salary. How do you think that will affect recruitment?
That will be addressed by our police chief, Brandon Harris, and I believe he may be next. So that is for the next presenter.
Perfect. Okay, so we do have our police chief here, and he will answer that in his presentation. More question in the back?
Okay. Okay, so as far as the seniors, last year, which was tax year 2022, for those property taxes that were due this year in January, we did increase our senior homestead exemption.
Can you say that again, please?
We increased our senior homestead exemption, and that is to $25,000. We also implemented a new residential homestead exemption, which is 2.5% of the value of the home, or $5,000, whichever is greater. And those two can be stacked on top of each other. You would receive both of those exemptions. So that is what we have done to address the residential homestead exemption for seniors. And this is the first time we've ever had a residential homestead for the general property owners.
And I want to commend our City Secretary, Crystal Roan. Crystal Roan is in a competitive salary along with other cities, and she is doing a fine job. So, Crystal, I want to say thank you so much to you and your team and all you do. And also, I want to recognize to the right of her, Angel Jones, who is our city manager. She is the CEO of the city. Angel has been doing a wonderful job. Thank you. And to the left, the person that keeps us legally straight, our city attorney, E. Joyce Iyamu. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate all the work that you do. Now let's roll right into the
Absolutely. We're going to move right on into public safety updates. Thank you so much. All right, joining us on tonight will be our interim police chief, Mr. Brandon Harris, and also our fire chief, Mario Partita. As they join us up here on stage, of course, Lynn has some fun facts.
Ooh, I have some wonderful fun facts about our chiefs. So I found out that our police department chief, our interim chief, Brandon Harris, is a single handicap golfer. Anybody want to challenge him on that? His son is also a police officer in the city of Rosenberg. And he swears that he is the karaoke king with Elvis. So you got a lot of stuff out there for people to challenge. So I don't know. And then Chief Partita, He is a ranch hand on his property in Anderson, Texas. So he does, in his spare time, he says, he does ranch work. So I might have to do a drive-by and assess the work out there. So
Right.
I can't believe y'all have spare time, but with that in mind, we'll talk about what you do in your full time.
All right.
Welcome, guys. Well, who wants to go first?
I guess whoever's next presentation, that would be the fire department.
First, thank you for having us. This is a great event. Just kind of dovetailing where we left off with finance, I wanted to address the salary study and what it's done for us in fire. I want to add to the answer for the gentleman that asked about the benefits. One other important thing to note is that City Manager Jones has set up a committee of employees to help provide input on those benefit reviews. And so that's really impressive and really good that they're getting information from the employees as they consider the different benefit packages.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Stones, for that. The salary study, you saw, I won't repeat what Elena went through, but what it's done for us is it's allowed us in fire to be competitive, thanks to council, mayor, and City Manager Jones and her staff for the proposal they put together that was adopted. These competitive salaries help us compete with cities that we haven't been able to compete with for a while. So their employees are looking to come to us now because we have competitive salaries. The second part is we also, it helps us retain employees. So we have firefighters, drivers, lieutenants, that have been here 10, 15, 20 years, even 25 years, that it helps us invest in those employees that have been here and have been loyal, and it helps us retain those employees because there's a major investment in those employees, everything from training to experience that isn't easy to replace. So having those competitive salaries help us retain those employees and show the value that we see in them. So that's another benefit. So it really did, these increases that we received recently really did help all the ranks and all the different positions in the fire service, in our fire department. And then we also made an enhancement to the higher classification pay. And what that is when we have minimum staffing in the fire department. So when someone is off on a fire truck, whether it's sick leave, vacation time, somebody else has to fill that position. So with that, those are some incredible duties and responsibilities that come with that. I'll give you an example. Someone stepping up to drive a fire truck for the day, they're taking responsibilities of $1 to $1.5 million immediately, the cost of that fire truck. They're also responsible for the safety of those firefighters getting to the scenes. And they're also responsible for the operations on scene. So there's a cost that goes with that. And so, again, this council and mayor, with the package that Ms. Jones and her staff put together, increase that pay for them. So now they're being compensated very competitively for that write-up assignment. So we thank them for that. I want to share with you two community engagement projects that we're working on, two initiatives. Lieutenant Dutch Schultz, who's at the back table, please stop by and see him. He is over our community engagement. And what we do is we work through a community risk reduction program where we assess every quarter the type of incidents that we're experiencing in the city. We look at hot pockets or areas that are receiving certain types of calls. We're looking for trends in the market, whether it's a pattern of garage fires, pattern of cooking fires, a pattern of heart attacks. And then we spend the next quarter or the next 2 quarters implementing initiatives to help with the prevention of those type of incidents. So this past year and going into this summer, we've noticed a heightened amount of calls to water safety or water incidents. So we've kicked off, and that's everything from natural and man-made ponds and reservoirs in the community, and also the public pools, but not only that, but the private pools at homes. We see drownings, unfortunately, at private homes. So we're trying to put information together to help prevent some of those incidents. And so we've launched a campaign this summer, which is live right now, and we're working through communications, who has put some wonderful video together that'll be coming out soon, as well as pamphlets, information. We're going out to the HOAs to share this message. I'm going out to one on Monday that will be sharing the same water safety information. So please stop by at the back table before you leave. We have a couple of marketing items as well as some water safety pamphlets. And so there's some great tips on water safety. With that goes CPR training. So any type of water emergency, any type of event like that, it's important that people know CPR. So we're offering, our training staff is doing hands-on free CPR training. And so there's the flyer. That's on all our social media, the city's website, as well as, I think there's copies back there, but we'll get you the information. If you'd like to come in, we'll teach you CPR. We'll show you how to do it hands-on for free. But we want to make sure that we touch as many people as possible when it comes to CPR training. The last thing I want to share is thanks to the communications department and their staff, we have completely revamped the fire side of our webpage. It still looks like the rest of the pages, but we've changed all the information. And so we've updated pictures. The fire marshal's office, I'll kind of go down the first list. The fire marshal's office we've updated. That helps our local businesses and developers. They now have quick access to contact numbers. They have quick access to the permit process. So we want to make sure that we're helping them. We want to be a development-friendly community. And so we're providing as much information as we can on that link and on that website. So that's been updated. From a community standpoint, you can now go to our website on the fire side where it was all hard copy PDF forms. It's now automated online where you can schedule a fire truck visit. You can schedule a station visit. You can schedule a school visit, everything. We have all the forms and all the information online. But along with that, the community is always welcome to stop by a fire station anytime they'd like to visit a fire station. But if you want to pre-schedule, we have all the forms online. And also there's our smoke detector program. This is very important. Is if you'll go to that website and you go to the smoke detector program, you can register or sign up, and we will come out and check your smoke detector. We'll replace your batteries. We'll replace the smoke detector if you're in need of assistance with a smoke detector. But we want to make sure that every resident in the community has a working smoke detector. So please take the opportunity to go see that program. And then we've updated all our contact information. So all our numbers are on there, cell phone numbers are on there. We want to make sure that you can contact us at any time. And so everything is broken down by division, by service. So please go kind of click around. Our recruiting page has been updated. You can see it in the middle there at the bottom. And then, of course, please join us on our social media. We provide a lot of information from prevention to actually active incidents on our Missouri City Fire social media pages. And that is the last part of my presentation. Thank you.
And I just want to thank you. I just want to pause. If you have questions for police and fire or any of our presenters that are coming up, you may submit those during the presentation, okay? If you don't want to get on the microphone, you can scan the QR code, which is in the back, and submit those questions so that they can be read. All right, thank you, Chief.
Good evening, how are you doing? Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure being here, and I'm here to give you an update on your police department and talk to you about some of the technology we use to keep you safe. Your police department has an authorized strength of 110 sworn officers, and we have 35 civilian personnel. These personnel make up our 911 dispatchers and our record staff, and they're broken up into 4 divisions. There are 4 divisions in the department. One is patrol. These are the patrol officers that you see on the streets each day, patrolling the streets of the city. CID, which stands for Criminal Investigations Division. This is where the detectives are housed, and they're the ones that work the crimes and try to solve them. Administration, that's where training is housed, professional standards, we do our grants and whatnot, and support services is where the civilian personnel are housed out of. The police department is a Texas recognized agency, and we are a 4-time recipient of that. And what that is, it's called the Texas Police Chiefs Association, and we are in compliance with over 170 of the best practices in law enforcement. And to put that in perspective, there are 2,800 law enforcement agencies in the state of Texas, and only 192 of those are TPCA certified, so that's roughly 7%. We are also a training provider. We are called a TCOL training provider, And we believe this sets us apart from other departments around the region because we can host classes, and rather than it saves money so that we don't have to travel to other parts of the state to host these specialized classes. Our technology, we have lots of technology, but I want to focus on these three. Flock license plate recognition. We have 32 cameras spread out through the major thoroughfares throughout the city. And these have been exceptional tools for our investigators to solve all sorts of crime. Think about it. Most crimes, I'm not gonna say every, most crimes are committed in some type of vehicle. And you can search these cameras, you can do partial license plates, you can do color of cars, make, models. There's such a plethora of things that you can do, and they've been invaluable to us. We have drones, 6 drones throughout the city, and each shift has a drone operator assigned to it, and we use these to search for missing persons, suspect apprehensions, and we do use it for damage assessment when there's storms come through. And one of my favorite things, because this was my project that I brought into the city, is Live 911. We are the first agency in the Texas to have this technology. And what it is, the officers hear the live 911 calls real time in their cars. And we believe this cuts down on their response time, and they can develop a plan of action as they're driving to the call, because they hear real time what the caller is saying to our dispatchers on the other end. And we've had several success stories to this. All this technology has given us an exceptional crime clearance rate. As you'll see on the slide, your Missouri City Police Department has a 46% crime clearance rate, and the average for the state of Texas is 22%. So our investigators do an exceptional job. Thank you.
Those who don't know, what is crime clearance?
It's the percentage of them solving and identifying a suspect in a crime. Thank you. We're also proud to participate in the Open Data Initiative. If you go to the city's website and go to the search bar, just simply type in Open Data Initiative, and they'll bring up a list of reports that you can access, and it goes back several years. You can see offenses, use of force reports, the crashes that occur in the city, citations that are, the number of citations, arrests, our racial profiling data. There is a plethora of information, but one thing, if you go to that site, I want you to focus on the Texas Police Chiefs Association end of year report. That goes into extreme detail of what your police department does each year and how we handle our business. And I think you'll enjoy looking at it if you get the time. We do so many things for the community, and we pride ourselves in it. And this young lady sitting in the front row is the one that spearheads everything, Officer Argueta. And good job, Cynthia. But we do things for every...
She's not shy.
Not at all. We have something for everybody. For the adults, we have National Night Out. We have Coffee with a Cop. And one of my favorite programs, we just had a graduation last night, is the Citizens Police and Fire Academy. I want to say, I put Police Academy, but it's Citizens Police and Fire Academy. So real quick, by show of hands, do we have any graduates in here? Woo! There's another one over here. Thank you for attending. For the youth, for the high school groups, we have the Explorers program. And thanks to the hard work of Cynthia right there, they finished 3rd place in a statewide competition recently, so we are extremely proud of them. And for the kids, we have numerous truck events, and we do school visits each and every week. We go to the schools and visit, we take our canines. So I say this, there are so many exciting things that are going on with the police department, but I want to tell you this. We're hiring.
Yeah.
We're hiring. We have an exceptional starting salary now of $65,237, and that is competitive with any agency in this region. And I want to take the opportunity to publicly thank Elena and your staff and City Manager Jones for making this happen. I know they worked exceptionally hard, and for the council for pushing this through. So thank you very much. But to become a Missouri City Police officer, we have 2 tracks of hiring. Track 1 is a TCOL certified. And what that means is you've been to the police academy and you're ready to go to work, or you're already working at another agency, and we will hire you. Track 2, a little different. You have not been to the police academy, but you have a 4-year degree, or you have 2 years of military service, or you're currently enrolled in the police academy, we'll hire you and we will send you to the police academy and pay you a full-time salary while doing so. And our next hiring event is July 8th. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues, if they want an exceptional place to work, Missouri City is the place to be.
For men and women.
Yes.
And I agree with him on that. I thought it was pretty exceptional when you said that we are the first policing agency to have the live 911 calls.
Yes, I actually saw that in a communications technology magazine a few years ago, and there was an agency, Chula Vista, California, was the only agency to have it, and looked into it. We used seizure funds, didn't cost the city a dime, and we are utilizing it to this day.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Before we jump into the questions from the audience, I want to tell you both something. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for everything that you do for the citizens of Missouri City, and I'm proud to have you guys on our team.
Thank you.
We're ready for questions. Oh, here we go.
Of Missouri.
Go ahead.
So anyway, right, I believe we're one of the most is what we have. Fighters and other things like that, and so we need some help trying. And I'm on the HOA, and so we need some help trying to get this abandoned houses, and also right on the border, quite a bit of traffic that just through our area. They throw trash. There's now a community behind us, and so it's just all kind of activity going on, and we really don't know how to solve the problem. So we need some intervention and some help so that our community doesn't go back.
Well, you're absolutely right about the dilapidated properties and broken windows. If they don't get addressed, it falls. I don't know if you've ever heard of the broken windows theory. If you don't fix one broken window, other windows will get broke. So do what you're doing. Continue to report that through C-Click Fix. You can report that to our code enforcement, and they will get on it. You're probably going to hear a presentation later, maybe that addresses code enforcement, and maybe they can answer your question a little better than I can, because I do not work for code enforcement. But the speeding cars, we can deal with. If you have cars speeding in your neighborhoods, or we try our best to address every speeding complaint we get, but understand this is a 30 square mile city, and the officers do a pretty good job addressing it, but we need those complaints coming in. If you contact our traffic enforcement officer, and I'm gonna give his number here in a second if anybody wants to write it down, but he's the one that keeps tally of these traffic complaints, and he deploys the resource to address these complaints as best we can as they come in. And his name is Sergeant Saul Luera, and his number is 281-403-5824. Sergeant Saul Luera. Sergeant Luera.
Thank you so much for answering that. I believe we had one more question over here to the right.
We haven't noticed a dramatic impact, but I'll go back to the flock cameras. We can capture those plates. All we need is a number or two and a location and a vehicle description, and they can capture even those temporary tags. I know the state is working on increasing the laws and making it more difficult for these businesses, these car dealerships to issue these tags. Because you, just like me and you guys, you see them, they're all over the place. And some of them are fraudulent, but some of them are legit, but there are a lot of fraudulent ones, and we address those when we stop them.
Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
That's exactly it. Lighting, get to know your neighbors. The best thing you can do is get to know your neighbors and be out in your community, because if you know your neighbors, you're going to recognize something that looks out of place. An officer driving by may not know that that car that's backed up in that driveway doesn't belong there. But if you know your neighbors and you see that, you can call, because you know that's not correct, and exchange numbers with them. That way you can call them and say, hey, there's a car in your driveway, there's someone walking around your house, should they be there? No, and then they immediately call the police. Yes, it's the House Watch program. If you go on vacation, you can enter, and you can go online and do this as well, or come in person. Enter the information in your house. We will come by your house, check the house at least once per day while you're on vacation, yes. Where? Are you asking what our average number of calls for service are? Probably because Missouri City is mostly residential. Probably a majority of our crimes, if we're talking crimes, are property crimes, thefts, things like that. It's funny, I've been in this job, I've been with the city 28 years, and I have some numbers right here in front of me, and I looked at burglaries. Burglaries are almost non-existent. We're talking house burglaries. And I don't have a good explanation for it, to be honest with you. They've just gone down over the years. People just don't commit house burglaries anymore. I was a little shocked to see that. But probably thefts of cars, breaking into cars is probably one of the most common property crimes that we have.
At home, working from home now, so maybe.
That very well may be it.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining us at our podcast on today. Thank you.
No questions further.
All right, so we're going to move right on along here now. We're going to step right on into our local economic development. Is that right? Oh, never mind. We're going to go with permits. Hello, Jennifer Thomas Gomez. Welcome to the hot seat.
Every seat.
Little fun fact, Jennifer Thomas Gomez was raised in Kansas City, Missouri, and wouldn't you know now, she's working in Missouri City. So let's give it up for Jennifer Thomas Gomez.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me back there? Okay. All right. Permits. It's that word. I know it's been a hot topic over the last year or so. And so I think permits touch pretty much everyone in this room in some way, shape, or form. And so it's a broad word, and the city has oversight in some of those areas. So I'm going to walk through just a few items concerning permits, and then I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. So getting started, okay, permits. You're changing out your water heater in your house. You're changing out your roof. You're putting solar panels on your roof. You're starting a business. You're doing new construction. Do I need a permit? Good. What type of permit do I need? There's all kinds of different types of permits. Do I need plans? In some cases, yes. And then for businesses in particular, how quickly can I get through this process to open? So these are questions that we want you to ask us. We want to know what you're trying to do in the city. Get to know your city representatives. So I know a lot of people, you have a dream, you have a vision, you put that business plan together, you have that idea, you have that home improvement project. Reach out and get to know your city. Get to know the role that the city plays in those projects so that we can help you navigate. Because particularly if you're not working with design professionals, or if you're not working with a professional that's experienced in that role, it can be a daunting experience. It can be a daunting task, but we are here to help alleviate some of those challenges. So here are some different types of permits that we issue in Missouri City. So they all don't come from the same place. They all, could deal with different groups. So you have, your standard building permit. You have major construction permits that deal with streets and infrastructure, things like that. You have event permits. Your homeowners association is doing an event that's going to close off a street and bring all of the neighbors together. There's permits that are associated with it. And so there's different city departments, different agencies inside the city, outside the city, that might have some oversight and might have a say in how you're able to carry out those activities. So what do we offer here at Missouri City? You heard our chief talk about the fire team and being business friendly. This council, I think, has made it no secret that they are business friendly, that Missouri City is open for business. And we echo that. So I know that there's been a lot of challenges. I know that there's been a lot of frustration. Again, the permitting process is not an easy process to go through. But we are here. We are here to help. We are here to demystify. We're here to clarify what those challenges are. So there are QR codes throughout the presentation that if you use your camera to scan it, will go to certain sites on our website, our online permitting system, and some helpful tools that you can use if you need to reach out to us in any way. But contact us. We can meet with you informally. We can meet with you formally. We are here. So I know that there's been a lot of feedback about nobody's answering phones and nobody's returning messages. We are here. So please reach out to us, get to know those people that process the permits in your city. So here's some common permit types on our commercial side. We deal a lot, I think the conversation in Councilmember Clouser has been very big on small businesses. And so one of the biggest challenges that we have is a lot of times new businesses in particular, the first contact that we have with the city is, my lights have been turned out. I need to get it turned back on. My service provider told me the city needs to issue a permit, so you need to turn my lights back on. And unfortunately, at that point, leases have probably already been signed, clocks are probably already ticking, so it can make the process even more challenging and even more stressful for both those businesses and for the city. But that's where we are here to help navigate. So the translation on my lights need to be turned on is the city has some oversight there. The city has zoning regulations, the city has building code regulations, fire code regulations that have to be adhered to before the city can issue certain releases or certain permissions. So a lot of the businesses that we see come through, they're usually doing tenant build out. So I know that you've seen a lot of activity, Fort Bend Town Center 2, with the new businesses going in there. All around our city, we have new businesses remodeling, redeveloping, reusing existing spaces. We also have a lot of businesses that are moving into office condo spaces that are changing the ownership on those spaces. That is a very typical conversation. And then signs. Every business wants visibility in some way, shape, or form. And so sign permits are also one of our most active permit types. So I'm just gonna go through a few steps in the permit world. And just to keep in mind, so a lot of you, when you move to Missouri City, you move to Missouri City because of the community that it is. And part of why Missouri City is the way it is because Missouri City has been very intentional about its regulatory environment. So unlike our big city next door, the city of Houston, Missouri City, some of our outlying suburbs and surrounding communities have adopted zoning. And what is zoning? Zoning. We have school zoning, we have school zones, we have post office zoning and postal zones, but the city has oversight on land use. So how we use the buildings, how we use the properties throughout our city. So when a new business comes to Missouri City after you had that great idea, you found that great location, it is wonderful, it's awesome, you sign that lease and you come to Missouri City, one of the first steps that the city has to take is to check the zoning for that property.
Check that first. Before you sign the lease, check that first.
So there's 2 QR codes on the screen. Those are some helpful tools to share, pass along. The city's zoning map is publicly available through the city's website. There's a legend, so that's a little snapshot of the legend corresponding to that zoning map. Those colors represent the types of uses that are permitted. It's not business specific, but it's use. So a residential use, a commercial use, an industrial use. Our zoning quick reference guide is the other QR reader, so it gives you some of those uses that are permitted within those districts. So those are 2 very helpful tools for businesses, for residents to know and understand. We're having a conversation as well about land. So there may be a vacant piece of property near you. You can check the zoning map for what the zoning is on that property. You can check the zoning quick reference guide for the permissions that are permitted to be built or developed or used on that property. So if zoning does not correspond to what you've submitted a permit application for, the process to try to amend the zoning is a public process. It is not an administrative process, meaning it's not you come to the permit lobby and say, this zoning doesn't work for me, please change it. So that is why get to know those rules and regulations, because there are certain times, there are certain processes that we cannot speed up because of the regulatory and legal requirements associated with those processes. Zoning, if zoning is sought to be amended, it is not a guarantee that making an application will result in zoning being amended, but it has to go through a public hearing process. It has to go through a public notice process. And ultimately, it goes before our elected city council after being advised by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So that is part of the permit process. So a lot of times, our businesses or, our residents think, I just need this permit and I just need the city to move as quickly as possible. But this is a component as part of that process. Platting. A lot of people don't think about platting. Platting is what gives us the legal boundaries of all of the properties that we have. Platting is required before a building permit can be issued, before a plumbing permit can be issued, a mechanical, electrical, before new streets can be built or infrastructure built. So in a lot of our older areas, most of that property has been platted. But we come across times in areas, even in this area right here where City Hall is, that a building may exist, but the property is not platted. So we have to work with that business owner that, again, may have already signed a lease, may be ready to go, but gets hit with the platting process, that we have to walk them through, what that means for their timeline and for their business. So I'm going to be quick because we can talk about permits all night. But the difference in some of our permit types, how quickly you can go, how much time it may take for others. So going back to a commercial change of occupancy versus a commercial building permit, what's the difference? So a commercial change of occupancy, it's an existing building, you signed that lease, the business that was in there before you is similar to the business that you're doing. It's a very straightforward apples to apples kind of application. So it's a simplified review that goes through reviews for the zoning, reviews for occupancy classification, and it's all, and external agencies may also be part of that review. So I want to briefly mention, when we're talking about permits, the city has a regulatory oversight over land use, zoning, and things like that. But everyone in this room who's a resident in this room, who's a property owner in this room, also receives a tax bill and a utility bill from a municipal utility district. Well, they are also part of the permitting process. So when you look at trying to pull a permit and trying to move through the permitting process, know that the city is not the only regulatory agency that might be involved. Okay. All right, I'm getting there. Let's go. Okay.
Pause for questions here.
Okay.
Have questions.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Places you can have, how many nail shops you can have. Is it possible to do that?
So zoning's a tool. Zoning's a land use tool. What you're describing is the market. So the city can influence the market with different initiatives. Our economic development team is part of that process as well, and some of the recruitment and trying to recruit certain uses to our area. Zoning is broad. So zoning treats all of those businesses the same. So we might have an area where you might have 3 banks, on the same, intersection. That might be more palatable than, having 3 gas stations, on an intersection. But zoning simply defines the rules by which those businesses can locate in those areas. But the city can influence, and then we are all consumers. Because those businesses are looking at our spending patterns. The businesses are looking at, how we, use those businesses. So that's also kind of the door, as to why those businesses locate where they're locating.
We don't need any more gas
I hear
stations.
you. I hear you.
That's fair. That's fair. We have one question in the back, and then we have one over here to the left.
And then Mr. Walker. You have a question, Mr. Walker? Go ahead, Bruce.
Hey, how are you? Wait a minute. Is that better? No.
Hold it kind of down. There you go.
How's that? Okay. Is that better? Right about there? Okay. Hey, Jennifer. Zoning. A business tries to open in Missouri City, and all of a sudden they're stated they're sexually orientated business. Cindy's. The city spends and wastes over $30,000 in legal fees to stop a legitimate business from opening. It still isn't open. I mean, this man went into a high-rent neighborhood, and if he wants to sell his novelties, let him. If he can't sell enough, he'll fail. But now the city's with litigation on something that is totally stupid. And furthermore, there's land over in Bondurant Road that recently a church was trying to build on. And now a developer wants to buy it. Apparently, the city has recommended not to let this happen. Do you really think a residential builder is going to come in there and build next to a railroad track with freight trains in the middle of the night barreling through there every 20 minutes? The city needs to wake up and smell the roses and stop the nonsense that's going on in Missouri City. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bruce, for that question. Wasn't really a question, a comment, I think it was.
Yeah,
so
we hear this comment all the time.
Mr. Ewing, you had a question?
Thank you. Just a quick question. First of all, very educational and informative. Now, I must admit, on the residential side, you shocked me with a few things. Because a lot of, for example, roofing, patio, refurbishments, things of that nature, obviously our HOAs have a lot of input and oversight on that. But I've never heard how much the city is involved in with that. So I guess my question is, from an educational or talking to HOAs as well as contractors that do work in the city, is there an initiative to help with that educational process?
Sure, and and that's a good point, because we are a city of subdivisions. So we do have a lot of HOAs and property owners associations that have architectural control committees, or a separate review process. And so while the city will make every effort to ensure that a property owner, resident, applicant makes contact with their homeowners association and their HOA, we usually, as part of the permitting process, look for proof that contact has been made, or a response has been provided, so that they have that interaction. But we can strengthen our partnership between the city and those HOAs that have active architectural control committees, so that we're walking in, kind of lockstep. Because the city does. The city will issue permits based on the city's regulations. Patio covers, patios, all of that, requires a permit before someone constructs. And then obviously HOAs will provide some form of review as well. So get in touch with Ramona for your HOA. If you're seeing a lot of home improvement projects that you're unsure of whether or not they have a city permit or not, get in touch with Ramona, and let's strengthen that communication between the city and those HOAs.
I mean, the city standards and expectations that may conflict with the HOA color, whatever the requirements may be, that type of thing?
So not so much color, because the city on the city side doesn't regulate the color portion. We usually try to identify. So a lot of the city regulations walk in lockstep. What we find is a difference between the regulations that HOAs understand, our HOA regulations as opposed to city regulations, because the city's review is just on the city's regulatory requirements.
My question is, I think you presented us slides on how a business gains zoning permission or whatever, but how does a residence that are opposed to the zoning, how do we go about getting that changed?
Good question, good question. So any zoning amendment goes through a public process. So there are public hearings before the Planning and Zoning Commission and before the City Council. So notice of public hearings are mailed to property owners within a certain distance of the subject property. They're also posted on the city's website. So if you go to the city's website and search zoning, you can go to the zoning page and you can see active zoning cases. And so they'll be labeled on the city's website until they're resolved. So public comments can be received either during the public hearing or in writing. You can email comments. You can walk comments in to City Hall, into our building as well. Any format that, you can get those comments to us, we'll receive those comments until the case is resolved.
Wordsworth.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Dr. Wordsworth, and I live in Quail Green South. And I just want to thank you for giving us this information. It's been very insightful. And also, I just want to mention that the disagreement between Cindy's and the city, Cindy's did not put forth the right information, and then they were they weren't forthcoming, and that's why they're not open. And so if there is some litigation, then I know the city will prevail because the city is rooted in facts and data. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You've had your comment, Bruce. We're going to the next section. Herman, our Director of Economic Development.
Jennifer, you were awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Thomas Gomez.
That was just some information.
Gotcha. Okay, so the biggest takeaway for permitting, ask them first.
Yes.
Before you sign a lease or before you decide to build your dream project, ask them first. Jennifer, you did fantastic.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer, you and your team. And here's a fun fact about our new, can we still call you new?
6 months.
6 months, about our new Director of Economic Development. He almost has you beat, Elena, but he has his Christmas Eve birthday. I don't know if that's a holiday, but y'all can have a joint celebration. So, without further ado.
In my house, it's a holiday.
Yes.
So I kind of really quickly want to talk about, we've been hearing a lot of buzzwords like recession and there's a lot of scary words out there in the media about inflation, job market. For the most part, Missouri City is voting extremely well. We have a vacancy rate that's decent for office compared to New York, San Francisco. The Houston market does extremely well, and it bodes extremely well with traffic counts and so forth, very competitive. I was very astonished and pleased as an economic development director, makes my job a little bit easier. And for those of you that just listen to the permit talk, our job is to make the ease of doing business easier, and we're rolling out with a permitting video soon that's just going to be a few minutes that'll summarize what Jennifer said, so that video should be coming soon. We're in growth mode. So, I mean, to be in an area of inflation and economic recession and so forth, to have a city who is growing and has a high demand for permitting and for business and zoning and so forth, that is an amazing thing to have. So, definitely super positive. Fort Bend County is split between growth mode and redevelopment. There are some issues to do with that. We have to keep those things in mind. I mean, Sugar Land right now wishes they had planned a little bit better for some of this growth. So we're keeping that in mind in our plans. We don't want our home buyers to become all rental. So we've got to make some room for that. And they created a program for reinvestment. We're looking into that. Rosenberg is at 50% a rental investor. We don't want to go there. Our mix is 81%, 19%. We want to keep it like that so we have pride of ownership in our homes. And then if you've noticed some change around town, I would love to take credit for it, but as you heard, I've only been here for 6 months. But the city council has put in place some really good incentive programs that have helped spur this growth. And I'll start with one that didn't even use tax incentive, and that's Township, as you know, has redone their whole area. It looks beautiful. And then the old movie theater project is already more than halfway done. We've been working with Quail Corner, the old Kroger. They're about to submit for facade on Cartwright, right where Alex's Kitchen is in. Also, that facade got redone. So we've had a lot of really robust use of the tax incentive, purposeful, because that helps home values and it helps commercial values. So we currently have the restaurant and facade programs, and coming soon is the patio program that will be citywide. The restaurant facade programs are purposefully done for Texas Parkway and Cartwright to make sure that we have some growth along those corridors. Highway 6 does a decent job on its own, and Highway 90 has a robust traffic count, thank God. So we boast a great labor market, great traffic counts, awesome economic spending power. Again, my job right now is very easy, even in a difficult economy. So thank you to the City Council and everybody who's been in planning before I got here. So as far as the economic front, we're doing great. We are avoiding gas stations. We are definitely looking for EV charging stations and looking at an EV charging areas. So we're knee deep in our strategy for that and trying to get that developed. We've talked to multiple EV places, and we're ready for that. So at the end of the day, our job is to grow the tax base so that we lessen the burden on our residential citizens and make sure the land use, like Jennifer said, is best for that also. So that's it.
And I passed by the shopping center with the old movie theater, and it looks really, really nice. So I'm loving the changes I'm seeing with the Texas Parkway corridor. And kudos to your team, Dr. Wordsworth, you and Jeffrey Boney, Councilmember Boney, and our Texas Parkway Corridor Committee for all of your hard work. Any questions for our Economic Development Director? We are taking questions, not comments. Yes, ma'am.
About the shopping center at Cartwright and Quail Valley, where Meadow Creek is. But on Cartwright at
pharmacy?
Oh, Ashmont. Sorry, Quail Valley.
That's okay.
It's where the old HEB was.
Okay. Where the new barbershop college just went in?
The barbershop. Mistros.
Yeah, I've been here for 6 months.
So we'll take a stab at it. Currently in that same parking lot area where the old HEB was, which is on Cartwright Road.
Craig's property.
Oh, what happened?
Is that it?
Yes, come on up here, Jeff Boney.
Okay. Okay, I just realized which one it was.
Very, very excited about redeveloping that and is in the process of doing so. He sold that one piece of property behind the Chevron to a gentleman named Arrow Shaw, who put a new barber academy there. But at OHEB, he's looking to do something really innovative, and he's working on that concept now, but it'll be a true benefit to that area. That property's been abandoned for a little over about 20 years, as far as vacant, not abandoned. And so he's really working, and he comes to town once a month, and we visit, and so he's working on that. So more news to come. He's working on a different kind of concept that'll be really all-inclusive of a lot of different things in that property. It's really huge, and so more information will be forthcoming. Right now he's working on that concept, and so I promise you, as soon as something comes about, you'll be the first to know.
Absolutely. You have an approximate time when that might. Thank you for your question.
Okay. Okay. We'll take Buddy. We'll take the gentleman in red. And Bruce, do you have a question? Okay. I'll get to you in a minute.
Can you tell us something about this coming patio program?
The patio program is using ARPA funds because during COVID, there was a big need for using outdoor space. So what we did is we pivoted, or the council has pivoted and put in a request to create these patio spaces for any type of situation in the future and just to have that outdoor space. I think that the one positive thing of COVID is a lot of people started enjoying these outdoor spaces, and we kind of want to see if we can stimulate those spaces here in Missouri City. So it's using federal funding.
Yes, I have a question on your economic development program. We have a lot of warehouses here in Missouri City, and I noticed that that they're not very full. And the question comes to mind: do we give them tax holidays or tax abatements for them to come in to build, and just what kind of program do we have for them?
Well, since I've been here, there hasn't been one program that to them, and there's been an expansion of another 1 million square feet right there at Park Logistics. I think they're doing a 1 million square foot expansion, and then I know Park 890 just finished their last one. But there is a high demand. The main reason there is a high demand for it is because of the location. It's right off the Beltway bodes. It allows for labor market commute times of 30 minutes, which is a pretty general population, and they bode really good for our tax base also. But no, I don't know of any incentives on those since I've been here.
Right. Herman, where is all this money coming from for these facade improvements? What kind of taxpayer dollars are funding that? Why are we paying a McDonald's $200,000 to improve their parking lot? How many extra Big Mac meals and sales tax revenue do you think you'd get out of that?
We get quite a few from McDonald's. I mean, I don't think there's very many McDonald's that shut down. So sales tax for McDonald's are actually really robust. And we get really excited about that. The tax incentives programs are really designed not to benefit the business, but to benefit the surrounding complementary business. It's designed to bring in other business to mitigate that amount. And the amount was not astronomical. It was, I don't know, a little bit over 150,000 or 200, right around there. But the sales tax that we get from McDonald's definitely is way over that. The amount of investment they did in that facility too was in the millions. So the fact that they even listened to us and brought in, redesigned it, put new things. I mean, I was really impressed with them and happy to keep them. And not only that, once that came on, we've heard some moniker names or know of some moniker names, I'm not gonna say them, but that are coming up across the street that's nice to come, and those are already signed. So, and it's some nice big labels, but I think that when you have redevelopment, that allows those big labels to come and allows the sales tax to come to alleviate, again, the tax burden on the residents.
So the parking lot was not $200,000. Can you name some of the improvements that went into that project?
Oh yeah, signage, landscaping, irrigation, lighting, a lot of lighting. I mean, of course, lighting is important. And we're seeing that we're really pushing for lighting on a lot of these shopping centers because that, again, is public safety and property values. So yes, a lot of improvements.
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah.
And I wanted to say this too, Herman. I commend McDonald's for not just going away, but they actually recognize that Missouri City is delivering sustainability there. And so not only did they tear it down, they built it back, and it's gonna be absolutely beautiful. And if you guys kind of caught what he was saying in between the lines, we have some big labels that are getting ready to come to that area. And McDonald's is just a shining beacon light that's starting that off. And so we needed that. And I'm eternally grateful for it.
And by the way, McDonald's may be a nationwide franchise, but the owner's local.
He's local. That's correct. That's correct. Herman, you've done fantastic in your hot seat.
Thank you, Herman. Yes. So you're no longer new.
Right?
Yes. All right.
It's trivia time. Are y'all ready?
Get your phones out. Let's play some trivia. Do we have any more of our NYC here? If not, I tell you what, let me get, Kennedy? Elizabeth, your middle name is Kennedy, isn't it? See, I knew it. Your second first name. All right. Come on, hair. I love it. All right, hold on to those bags. We're going to play some trivia. All right, let's put the next trivia question up.
Oh, they want to get back in. They need the scan code one more time.
Can you put the QR code back up? Got the Roma loop. They weren't ready for that one.
Sorry.
The PIN number?
Okay, the PIN number.
How many of you are already in Kahoot? All right, let's move to the next question. I swear we rehearsed this. We did. All right, let's go. Who is the most tenured council person? Anthony Maroulis, Jeffrey L. Boney, or Floyd Emery? Floyd Emery, would you stand up, Floyd? All right, Floyd. All right, who wins the prize?
Oh, come on, see.
All right, Councilmember Maroulis is disqualified. Justin has already won. Jennifer Thomas Gomez, you are director. Who is Go-Go? Come on, Go-Go! Would you please take her prize? All right.
Next question.
Let's go to the next question. In what year did Missouri City issue a homestead tax exemption? That was also an increase for the elderly as well. All right, 2022. I better not see C is the place to be. Justin, I'm impressed. Who is Jay?
Jay. You gave him the answer.
You gave Jay. Who's Jay? All right. Nobody wants to fess up? RC. Come on. All right.
Okay, we're gonna do our best to speed this up a little bit so that we can get you guys out of here on time. So we do have a couple of more hot seaters, and we're gonna go as quickly as we can.
Shashi, come on down. All right, why don't you salsa on down? Because his fun fact is that he is the salsa king. Who knew?
Good evening. I am not the salsa king, but I did tell the council members that one of my passions is salsa dancing, but I forgot to tell them that I don't do it in a public setting. So thank you, council.
I don't know if we should thank him or not, but all right. Shashi, we've got just a few minutes, so if you will quickly go over your
Very
report.
good, council member. I think I'm asked to talk about current and future projects, and you know that we have a lot of projects here in Missouri City. You've heard about capital improvement program. That's where we build the big projects, the new roads, the new fire stations. Those are the projects. We'll talk about some grant funded projects because we're trying to chase grants and get funds to do these projects so that we burden you less in terms of tax dollars on doing those projects. Of course, we're going to talk about your and our council's laser focus program, which is street and sidewalk rehabilitation programs. I'll skip the last public works video in the interest of time. We all voted on the bond program in 2021. You're wondering where are those projects? We have a lot of projects, about 4.3 in District A, Cave Run Road, Valley Manor Drive, Lantern Lane, close to about $10 million in projects. They're in currently design phase. When will you see somebody build those projects? End of this year, early next year. So those projects are in the works, and these are your local streets, and you'll see those projects very soon. Traffic projects. City is growing. We're seeing more vehicles. Signals are warranted. We have 3 traffic signals going along Lake Olympia, Crow Valley, Peninsulas, and Misty Hollow. The other one is at Fort Bend Toll Road on Lake Olympia, and that has been awarded, and contractor he's ordering materials and parts. You should see ground break in the next few weeks, if not a month or so. I know our council member Bonnie's favorite project, and he's looking forward for a picture opportunity with that signal. Fort Bend County mobility projects. I know we have our county commissioner precinct 3 here, so I'll take the liberty to put the commissioner on the spot here a little bit. The City Hall drive around here that you came in was a cooperative project we did with Fort Bend County precinct 2. We're fixing to rebuild portion of Cartwright and Lexington Boulevard in front of Brightwater to 1092, both Cartwright and Lexington, which is in precinct 3, which is currently funded. The other sections we've asked in the future mobility bond program. So if you get a chance, say hello to your commissioner. Glen Lakes is also currently in the design phase. That is a project we've asked in future mobility bond program. For those of you on the Sienna side, we completed the Knight Road extension project, $8+ million. We are working on improvements, Sienna intersection improvements, more projects to come along the Sienna corridor to elevate congestion. We have about $40 million of these big mobility projects that we're working with county currently, and we have a laundry list of projects we've also submitted to Fort Bend County in future bond programs. Coming to drainage, we just recently expanded the drainage ditch, Cangelosi Ditch. This is right behind Thurgood Marshall. It provides positive drainage for Lakeview Business Park, Bolton Estates, and those subdivisions that drain into it. Again, 1.6 in construction cost, $954,000 came from the GLO grant fund. Again, I just want to say one more thing. We've got awarded recently $5+ million in grant projects, again from GLO. Our council member Boney lobbied at HGAC to get the maximum funds, and we have 2 projects, drainage projects identified, and those will be the next phase of the implementation projects as it comes to drainage. Coming back to your favorite topic and our city council favorite topic, streets and sidewalk repair. As a city, we're 60+ year old now. There are parts of city where streets are failing. Although we have the CIP program to rebuild the streets, we have another program where we fix those streets and give them some more life, fixing potholes and panel repairs. This year, we've already done $3 million worth of projects, and this is citywide. Now, coming back to the sidewalk program, this year our budget for sidewalk repairs is $1.8 million. We've already completed $1.4. We've reduced the backlog of sidewalk repairs to $1 million. Now here is a trivia question that I'm going to ask all of you.
You have a prize?
Is a city of our size, anybody that has spent over $5 million in 5 years to address sidewalk, if you can find a city, come back to me and I'll give you a gift back. That is Missouri City. So I want to really thank our city council for investing in sidewalk and street infrastructure, which, by the way, is what our residents want in our citizen survey. I know that our city manager likes this because I always pitch this issue to her when it's budget time for funding. With that, I'm going to end up here and take a few questions. I did have a video, but I don't want to take too much time, but I'll be ready for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Walker.
Now, I heard a lot of good things going on within the city, and by trade, I'm a truck driver, so I drive Missouri City, Sugar Land, Fort Bend County, throughout the whole state, a lot. But my thing is, why is it so long for that light to get some energy so that the residents of Quail Green can get in and out safely?
Now, sir, if I understood you correctly, are you talking about, where are you talking about the signal light?
Texas Parkway and Quail Trace.
Yes. Now, that is a signal being put by the developer, because the developer of Arcadia is building that, and the traffic counts kind of wanted the signal. They had to go through the state and get the approval. It took them a little time, and believe it or not, we require decorative or ornamental poles. Those are in back order. If you see there, the signal lights are there. They don't have the decorative poles because they're in back order, but they'll be soon in place and they'll be installed.
Okay, I understand that. Again, I drive Missouri City every day. On Santa Parkway, light came up on Fort Bend Toll Road, in fact, and Santa Parkway, where they building the bridge, that light went up in a matter of weeks with power. All we saying at Quail Green, can we get some power on the temporary light that the developer, LJA, installed in there? Can we get some light work?
I think the light is in place. It'll be activated pretty soon. I'll come and talk to you a little bit more about it and what's the process that takes to activate a light. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Walker, y'all's fence looks real good too.
Okay.
Never mind. Next question.
I have a comment. I want to thank you for fixing our streets and our sidewalks. And I think you did a good job over all of the HOAs and the communities, the older parts of Missouri City. But my question is, with the mail out that you said about the drainage, don't you think that we could use some more sweeping going on in the streets to clear our drains and to keep our streets clean?
Great question. First, I want to thank you for the compliments. And we are doing more sweeping. We try to sweep at least 2 times every part of the city that the city maintains. We're enhancing this year to 3 times. Some areas during the fall season, where we see a need where it's blocking a drainage, we go ahead and do that. But what I would advise you is, should you see a need in your neighborhood for extra sweeping, and more so in terms of drainage and blocking an inlet, please let us know and we'll put extra effort there to get it clean. Thank you. I have a question here in front of my screen, so let me read it. Please address the recent frequent power outages in the surrounding area, especially Quail Valley. Do we need to be concerned about extended burnouts? I heard about it. Our city manager heard about it. We have reached out to Centerpoint. We do not know what happened there. What we're trying to do is, before you get notified, of course, there is a Centerpoint website where you can sign up to get the notifications. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve to see if we can get advance warning so we can share that information through our communications to residents. That is, we're working towards that, but we do not know it was something that Centerpoint did. It was not from the city side, but we're working to get you the answers. Yes, sir. Next question.
Hello. I'd like to know on Trammell Fresno going to Highway 6, there's only one lane to turn right onto Highway 6. How can we get both lanes to turn onto Highway 6?
Trammell Fresno Highway 6, I will make a note, ma'am. We'll take a look at it. Typically, those turn lanes, what we do is when the streets are built, we don't have the traffic volumes. As the city grows and traffic multiplies, we'll look at the need for additional lanes and we'll add those lanes. But I'll make a note to look into that.
Yeah, please do, because the traffic is backed up all the way to Vicksburg sometimes. And then people are turning right from the left lane anyway. And so that's creating a really dangerous thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shashi, we have this last one here on the screen.
Okay, let me read that. At Columbia Blue and Independence, the lights are off on the streets. Can that be fixed as soon as possible? I don't know what they mean by off on the streets. I'm thinking the lights are fallen or something but
the street lights?
Oh, the street lights are off. Well, we'll take a look. So just for residents, anytime there is a street light out, there is a number on the pole. If you all can put that in See Click Fix or call Public Works and report that light number, it makes our job easy so we can coordinate with Centerpoint and get that light fixed. But again, we'll take care of this one.
On that note, that's a great segue for us to go into See Click Fix.
Thank you.
Shashi, you did fantastic.
So, yes. So, Barbara Terrell is our code enforcement officer number 3. And she wears that title with a smile. And also I hear you have a signature macaroni and cheese that you make. So that's our fun fact about you. So go right ahead into See Click Fix.
Okay. I just want to say I'm going to make that macaroni and cheese for birthdays. We have these birthday parties. The people with the birthdays, yes. We need a little food. Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for being here tonight. I just want to give you a little information about what code enforcement is doing and what we plan to do going forward. Code enforcement is here to preserve and protect our neighborhoods. We want to keep Missouri City, keep the beauty, retain it. We want to be responsive to your complaints. We're complaint-driven, but we do have a new focus, and what we're focusing on is to promote our visibility in the neighborhoods by doing sweeps. We're being more aggressive for repeat offenders. We have a plan of action in place for those who don't want to be compliant with the city ordinance. So we have a few things that's down the road. You'll see us on the weekend on a Saturday, probably in your neighborhood, addressing the concerns of the HOAs. Because a lot of times we've been short-staffed, but now we're getting more officers on, and we have a new vision. So that's one of our concerns. What I do plan to do is I plan to go to the back if you want to see a See Click Fix presentation, since we're pressed on time, and I can do a demonstration for you. And I can also answer the questions about abandoned buildings, unsecured buildings, things of that nature. I'll be in the back for you.
So what kinds of things does See Click Fix? What do you address?
See Click Fix, you can report anything. That's one of our greatest tools that we use for code enforcement. If you need to report a property that has high grass, a junk vehicle, if you have an abandoned vacant structure that's unsecured, that's very important. You know, school is out, a lot of things go on. Those are things that we need to know. You are the eyes and ears for us. We can do this together, and we would like for you, we invite you to use See Click Fix to get that to us. If you cannot get into See Click Fix, you can always call our office. We do take complaints over the phone as well, and we do a 24 to 48 hour turnaround on all complaints.
I know y'all have questions.
So we're going to do the questions in the back?
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can. There's an option for you to upload your photo as well.
Awesome.
I didn't hear you.
Something
saying is an eyesore. It's a burnt car, totally burnt, that's in the driveway. I never seen that before.
Okay, if you would, you can give me that address and I can pull it up. Yes, okay. So since we're pressed for time, I'll see you guys in the back with all of your questions.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining our
Thank you for having us.
podcast.
Thank you. Next, we're going to bring our guy up. I call him the guy with the fun job. Our Assistant City Manager and Chief of Public and Community Facilities, Mr. Jason Mangum.
And Jason, you've got to make this good because you're our last presenter, so you got to make this good. And did you want to know a fun fact on Jason? He's a certified scuba instructor. Who knew? All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We want to see that certification.
You
Cross-check
bet.
and verify.
You won't see me diving in these gator-infested waters very much.
Right.
No diving in the gators.
So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be your concluding guest on this podcast, and you know I understand the saving the best for last.
Right.
So
No pressure.
just want to talk briefly about Parks and Recreation and some of the projects that have been ongoing and upcoming. As most people here know, the voters approved a bond. Part of that went to Parks and Recreation in 2021. We are in the process of designing many of those bond projects and hoping to break ground on some of those, including Freedom Tree Park. We recently had a bit of a snag with an easement that went through that with Phillips 66. We were blessed to really have the opportunity to work as a community and work together and come together and call on some of our partners in order to overcome that challenge. And we are now in full swing of our design and engineering documents, and we're hoping to be able to break ground in early 2024. The Park Path program converts the gravel trails or the decomposed granite trails to paved trails, similar to what was recently done at Hunters Glen Park. We're going to be doing that on a lot of our granite trails, our natural surface trails. This enables us to reduce the amount of money we spend on maintenance for these trails instead of having to maintain them monthly or quarterly or whatever, depending on the amount of moisture we get. And also, it makes them more usable directly after a rain. So our trails are heavily used, and so we're going to make them more usable for our residents. So we're really excited about that, and that's going to be upcoming in 2020, probably 2025. Bicentennial Park is a park located on Adams and 5th Street, and that will be totally renovated as well, starting in 2024. Stamos Sports Park, that park is going to get a full makeover. We're starting from the ground up. We're going to be tearing everything down and starting with the drainage and the drainage issues that we have there. And we're gonna build a new multi-purpose park. Right now it's just baseball diamonds. So we're really excited to be building that up to include playgrounds and baseball and softball and pickleball. Pickleball, as well as some other things. So it'll be more well-rounded and we'll be able to use it all the time. Ridgeview Park, one of our oldest parks in Missouri City. We recently did the splash pad there, and we're be moving forward with replacing the trail, the playgrounds, and the pavilions there at Ridgeview. Some of the other upcoming projects that you might see that aren't bond projects, these are funded in other ways. We have a new basketball court coming in at Community Park. That was a safety issue. We were able to remove the current, the previous ones and installing a brand new basketball court there. Renovation of the disc golf course at Community Park and a new playground at Buffalo Run Park. And if you drive by the Buffalo Run Park, you can see the playground is currently being erected. Also doing some things to improve beautification at our park, such as clearing out all the undergrowth and understory. And then with ARPA funds, we were able to renovate Quail Green West Park, which is just right behind here at City Hall. New playground, new a restroom, and new pavilion there. Troxel Park is located in the Park's Edge subdivision, and we're hoping to start construction on that in the next little while. And then this new parcel of land that was purchased up in the Fondren Park area. This is a 8.5 acre park, and we are really excited to be able to purchase this property with ARPA funds. And we want to make sure that you take a look at our table in the back. We offer over 2,000 recreation opportunities a year for our residents, and our staff's back there to talk to you about what opportunities you may be interested in. We have everything from toddlers to seniors and everything in between. And then lastly, just a couple of special events. Don't forget our Juneteenth celebrations next week, Independence Day, and then a new concert series starting this month at the end of the month. Right here on this patio here at the Community Center. June 30th will be Rock Night, July 14th, Country Night, and July 28th, River R&B Night. And then we will have food trucks and a good time. So, and with that, I can answer any questions.
And didn't our Parks and Recreation just get a very special certification this week?
Yeah, we were notified this week. We haven't made the announcement yet, but we can. Our Parks and Recreation Department was recently received a designation as a certified autism center.
Awesome.
Which
that's a better place to announce that than here. Absolutely.
This is a certification that takes into account our practices and our training for our staff. Our goal is to have staff that are trained so that we can integrate people with sensory issues and autism in with our mainstream programs, and parents can know that our staff, our front desk staff, our program staff, our camp staff have all been trained. They had to come out and do an site inspection to some of our facilities and parks, and we are the first Parks and Rec department in the state of Texas and only the third Parks and Rec department in the country to obtain the certification.
That's awesome.
That's nice. Any questions? Oh, we got one over here. I think, is that Dr. Felix? Hello.
Stand up, stand up.
I have a question. Excuse me for being late. I was a little bit late this evening. But I have a question concerning the parks, like the Hunters Glen Trail, the 3-mile trail. Are there any plans to concrete the trail? A lot of people are talking about that.
Yes.
We don't know what is forthcoming, but I just want to throw this out front that I think it will going to affect a lot of people, because I heard that a plan has been approved in 2021, I think, to concretize all the parks, or most of the parks. I see a lot of improvements are being done on those parks. But if that is being done, could you have a 50-50? When I say that, equalize it. Maybe a 50% concrete trail and just a dirt trail. You know, just kind of for ease it up a little bit than making the entire trail concrete, because it's hard on a lot of people's feet. And second question also is that the park, the Hunters Glen Trail, is not properly maintained. A lot of grass is growing. I know a lot of people go to the trail behind Fiesta Park because it's bright, and a lot of people go there, so it's more, you get better protection. It's more visible over there than going over the whole 3-mile trail. So a lot of people don't go out there much, but there are a lot of grass there, and when the grass grows very thick, when it's cut, all that grass on the ground is very bad. I don't know why they don't scoop it up and throw it somewhere, but all that grass stays there and build up. And it's terrible. When the wind blows, all that thing go up there. So that's the question I got to ask.
Okay, I'm going to try to answer those one at a time. Number one, yes, the plan is to concrete the Hunters Glen jogging trail, the whole 3-mile trail. It'll make things a lot easier for maintenance. We understand that many people prefer the natural surfaces, and so we will have natural surface trails in the city of Missouri City. But we also found out that our most used trails are concrete trails, and we want to get people outside and using those trails. The mowing along the Hunters Glen Trail, that trail it's along a county drainage easement, and so we will reach out to the county, and we will see if we can work out a better partnership with the county to have more frequent mowings. You know, the county drainage, they're looking at just keep knocking down the vegetation every once in a while, where we're looking at having it as an amenity for residents. And so we will we'll reach out to our friends over at the Fort Bend County Drainage Authority to talk about those that mowing schedule and what we might possibly be able to do. And then the other thing was lighting, and we recognize that lighting is a concern for a lot of people in a lot of our parks and trails. And we've actually reached out, and we've had a company come and do a lighting assessment focused on safety. And we're waiting those results on where we need to add lights, what types of lights we need to add, and then of course what the budget for something like that would be, so that we can phase it over multiple years. And so all of those things we are 100% working on, and appreciate your concern and your use of those trails. So,
Jason, you have been fabulous. Thank you so much for joining our podcast.
All right, we've got one more Kahoot, and then we're gonna wrap things up. So y'all sit tight, and let's get our next Kahoot going. This one's gonna be a hard one, so I hope y'all studied for this one. All right, here's the quiz. What's the city's credo? I don't want to see be fit or C is the place to be.
Together we excel.
Be fit. Justin, thank you for being here, Justin. Jay win? Oh, you didn't vote? Oh, y'all just gave up on us, huh? Okay.
RC was Rosalind. She won the last time. JTG.
That's Jennifer Thomas Gomez. You know what? Let's just get, who knows our city credo? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Right here.
The Show Me City, close. Who knows our credo?
Told you. That's it.
Did you win? She went. Did she win?
She hasn't won.
You didn't win? Well, come on down. Let's get it. Thank you, and thank you for being here and for engaging. And we have one. Oh, she did her dance. Come on down. Here's a fun fact. I was on The Price is Right the last year that Bob Barker was the host, and and he gave me some sugar too, right here on my cheek. Did you know that, Sonya?
No, I did not.
Well, now you know.
Now I know.
I want a car and everything. Okay, let's go to the next one. Did you really? I want a car. I gave it to my mom, didn't I, Mom? All right, who is the local foodie? Out of myself or Council Member Brown Marshall? It is Sonya Brown Marshall. Be fit. Is that you again? So if you all don't know Justin, would you stand up? Justin, if y'all can't tell, he works out a lot. He is the instructor for our Adaptive Fit program here. He works with special needs individuals. It's his passion. This is what he does in education, but he comes after work to do this because he loves what he does. So thank you for all that you do for the special needs community. And thank you for coming in, sweeping everything. All right, who are we giving that prize to, though?
All right.
Who's the foodie? You want to pick? Okay, you go ahead and pick somebody to give the prize to. Do we?
It's just
skipping along. How cute. Y'all, let's give it up for our wonderful hostess. Oh, Dr. Jones gets it. Do we have another prize? Do we have another prize? That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You understand?
So we're going to give our final and closing remarks on tonight. Honestly, I want to thank the audience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did y'all enjoy this format? It's different. It's different. Thank you, guys. GFL, we thank you. Big, we really do. What's this? Fort Bend Libraries, thank you. Mo City Green, we thank you. Missouri City Police and Fire, thank you so much for your resource tables in the back as well. The Small Business Advisory Committee, thank you, thank you, thank you for your efforts. Missouri City Parks and Rec, can't thank you guys enough. Honestly.
And we also, I had fun today. Did you? This was a great at-large. This was our first at-large town hall. And I just have to say, I am enjoying working alongside you, Sonya Brown Marshall. I'm so glad you're here. You are great for the city, Sonya, for the city. And we want to thank our IT department. Thank you, IT, for all your hard work. We want to thank the communications team. And last but not least, Ramona. The hostess with the mostest. Thank you so much. Stand up, Ramona. Thank you so much. Come join us as we conclude our very first, won't be the last, at-large town hall. We want to say thank you so much and have a good night.
Good night.